There are many elementary mathematics curricular materials aligned with national standards. Unfortunately, many of them are not engaging to students. Perhaps you remember the joy of completing fraction worksheets in elementary school. Students with disabilities are an underutilized source of diversity in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics careers, as well as information and communication technology professions. These career fields had more than 2.4 million unfilled jobs last year. STEM and ICT career opportunities for people with disabilities will continue to expand over the next decade as society embraces the technological benefits associated with machine learning, artificial intelligence, and renewable energy. However, these careers are only obtainable if students achieve an accurate conceptual understanding of fractions in elementary school. Dream2B is designed to reinforce cornerstone fraction skills like partitioning and iterating in Tier 2 mathematics classrooms. Let's take a look at how this works. Students begin the game by customizing their character. The diverse array of choices allows students to choose attributes that align with their racial, ethnic, and gender identities. This provides a hook to engage students in the learning process. They play through immersive problem-solving activities that promote visual attention and reflection on their thinking across 5 STEM and ICT career worlds in subsequent sections of the game. The game begins with a tutorial, where players learn and demonstrate core gameplay mechanics in the game. The Free Cut tool allows the players to freely partition a bar. With Grab, we can move objects around. Equal Cut helps partition, but equally. Repeat allows us to iterate and make a copy of the piece. Sewing allows us to combine 2 pieces together. In World 1, students step into the world of a wind technician, where they learn to partition wind and iteratively send parts to turbines that convert the wind into energy. In World 2, students take on the role of a solar panel technician, where they engage in distributing solar panels to homes to create solar energy. Players must use partitioning and iterating to determine the equal share of panels each site needs to receive. In World 3, players step into the life of a fire inspector, where they combine or iterate unit or non-unit fractions to check for code violations. Students work with different materials across contexts using partitioning and iterating together, and even create and use non-unit fractions to simulate the primary burn zone in an explosion. World 4 features the career of a photogrammetrist. Students use partitioning and iterating to reverse a non-unit fractional projection of a rectangular land to find its original length. In World 5, students use recursive partitions to write programming block units. To test their code block, students must determine the value of quantities created and refine them if they are buggy. The teacher can set the minimum threshold proficiency level of gameplay mechanic mastery in the tutorial using the teacher dashboard. This means if a student struggles to complete a level in the game, the teacher can be 100% certain it is because of conceptual misunderstanding, not because the student hasn't mastered the core gameplay mechanics. Players can play the game using multiple types of controllers. This allows students with a diverse range of physical abilities to play the game using familiar hardware that meets their individual needs and preferences. This also reduces the amount of time necessary for students to master the use of controllers. Players can customize the game with settings. Change colors in the game using a color palette to make it aesthetically accessible for you. Adjustment of sound output is an extremely valuable asset to teachers who may have multiple students playing at the same time, or while other students in the classroom participate in different activities. Dynamic hints throughout the game's levels provide teachers with evidence of student understanding based on patterns of student behavior. For example, in World 2 the player must distribute equally. To do so, they can use 2 different strategies to solve the problem. One way to solve is that we could distribute whole units and partition the last piece, or we could use the number of sharers as an input for partitioning. The game also includes multimodal information including text-based information, spoken audio overlays, and color and symbol-based conveyance strategies to maximize the speed at which students can master the content. Throughout the worlds, players will learn about different conceptual understandings of fractions. Success at the elementary level can lead to advanced coursework and a future career in STEM and ICT disciplines. Dream2B teaches fractions while introducing students to some of the fastest growing STEM and ICT careers. Play the game today. We would like to thank the National Science Foundation for their generous support of this project under award number 1949122. Any opinions, findings, conclusions, or recommendations expressed in this material are those of the author and do not necessarily reflect the views of the National Science Foundation.